service brought us their old grill. So I'm actually going to troubleshoot step by step how to figure out what's wrong with it, how to diagnose the problem, and what to do to fix it. This is a Charmglow 720-0036. It's actually about a 10-year-old grill, believe it or not, and it held up pretty well. These grills were sold at Home Depot, and as you can tell, this grill was actually taken really good care of. However, it's not lighting up. So let's dive in a little bit deeper and figure out what the problem could be. The very first thing I'm going to do is replace the propane tank. I've actually already done that. I hooked it up to the original hose that was in this grill. So it's all hooked up there. And just in case you're wondering, this is going to be the area that you find the model number of these Charmglow grills. Alright, so now that I know I have enough gas going into the grill, we're going to try to figure out what's going on here. So I'm going to take out the cooking grids. Now, even though these are dark, these were stainless steel grids, and so they've actually held up really well. Depending on how much money you wanted to put into your grill, you could either scrub these down and keep using them, or you could replace them. This was a stainless steel heat plate that was put in the grill. Even here you can see the stainless steel still holding up pretty well. The rest of the metal has started to rust. Stainless steel will rust when it is exposed to the huge temperature changes that happen in a grill and also all the moisture. But this is 10 years old. It's held up really well considering the age. So these are the burners right here. These are the electrodes. So the electrodes light the gas that come out of the burner, and the whole burner should light up. Now that I've got my propane tank hooked up to the grill, I'm going to go ahead and attempt to light it. Alright, that burner did not light. I'm going to try this last burner, but I don't think it's going to light either. Alright, so our burners are not lighting. The first thing I'm going to do here is try to see if there's any gas coming out at all. So I'm going to turn on all of the burners on high. And I'm not going to get too close, but I am going to listen and smell to see if I can either hear any gas coming out or smell the smell that comes along with propane gas. And there's absolutely no whooshing or whisper of gas at all. So my suspicion is that we're not getting any gas into this grill. And the first place to check on that is actually going to be the regulator. Regulators go out over time. It's a safety mechanism. They'll slowly clamp down and cut off all gas flow into a grill. When you check the regulator closely, you can even see that the collar here has snapped. This is the original regulator, which means it's 10 years old. When you remove the regulator, there's no sound, which means there was never any gas going between these two. Usually you would hear the difference of the pressure being released there. So this is going to be the first thing I'm going to try and change. Alright, right up under here is where the regulator hose leads to. So that is what we need to loosen and remove. You're probably not going to be able to do it with your hands, so just get some pliers. Alright, so I've got my pliers here and I want to be pulling toward myself. But what I noticed is that as I applied pressure, I was actually pulling this entire manifold down. So what I would recommend is holding onto this with your hand or getting another pair of pliers here to apply counter pressure when you actually go to unscrew this, especially if this has been on for something like 10 years. Alright, so it is tight, but carefully go ahead and loosen it up. Okay, so we got our regulator off finally, and this is what's called a 3/8 inch flare fitting. 3/8 is actually referring to the inner diameter of the tube on the inside, and once it's flared out, it almost looks like 1/2 inch or more like 5/8 on the inner diameter here. So 3/8 inch flared fitting is kind of confusing at times, but that is just the term for it. That is the standard regulator, and that's going to be the most common regulator replacement that you'll find. So here's our brand new regulator fitting, and I'm just going to screw this right back on where I unscrewed the other one. Alright, so I got the other end of my regulator onto the manifold in this grill. I just tightened it by hand. You don't want to over tighten it and risk stripping anything. So now I'm going to open this up. So we're going to try this one more time. The thing is that even though it is not lighting, you can hear the gas and I can smell it. So I'm going to grab a lighter and see if I can get it to light without trying to use the electrode. I've put the heat plates and the cooking grid back in this grill, and you can see here that there's this hole right here. This makes it easier to lift to get the cooking grid out of the grill, but it also allows us this spot right here to light the grill once it's all put together. Alright, so the gas is flowing. So what I'm going to do now is just turn on the rest of these burners, and they should light off of each other. And now our grill is burning all 3 burners, and it's ready to be cooked on. Except, I mean, I would definitely clean that off, but otherwise it's ready to be cooked on. So that ended up not being a very hard fix. You can replace the cooking grids and all the rest of the parts if you want your grill to look shiny on the inside again. But like I said, for now it is cooking. You could scrub those down and go ahead and cook on them tonight. Alright guys, so with the simple replacement of a regulator, we've got a smoking grill here and we are ready to cook dinner tonight. Thanks for watching. See you next time.